Anytime you're spotting and the first thing you see is a high rail truck passing you, that's usually the first indication that one track is closed and that traffic may be limited at this time. After starting my new job, I had 2 days off, and so I decided to spend the day at Harper's Ferry, one of the most historical areas known to us all, with the raid of John Brown and the surrender of Robert E. Lee, which created a major turning point during the Civil War. More information will be provided with the link down in the description below. While I thought the line was dead, the Cumberland Southern Division throws me a curveball yet again, with the westbound empty coal train with an extra surprise leading today. You'll find out here in a minute. That's right, a brand new EMD ST-78H, leading today's E73016. The ST-70 is the CSX designation for the Progress Rail EMD ST-70Ace, the Tier 4, which is the latest locomotive model for North American freight railroads. With 8905's K5LA Gen 3 echoing proudly across the Appalachian Mountains, and its Tier 4 engine sneaking past us with barely any noise, the empty coal drag knocks down Polk Mill and proceeds westbound towards Cumberland, and thou should continue on to Grafton to load the coal hoppers once again, and then proceed back eastbound either towards Baltimore or Newport News, depending where the operation is needed. After CSX E73016 passed us, it was time for Philip Lee to head home. However, Chris F. Railfan emerges as we caught Amtrak PO29, the westbound Capital Limited, making a station stop here at Harper's Ferry a few hours after E730 passed. Today's westbound Capital train ran about 30 minutes late due to a catering issue prior at Washington. Usually delays departing Washington westbound are a little bit unusual. However, if you've been on the Capital Limited or seen the Capital Limited come eastbound, you know there's trouble bound to happen, especially right after Chicago's departure. Take a good long look and listen at these beautiful General Electric Genesis P42 DCs leading the westbound Amtrak Capital Limited this evening, because these will all be replaced soon by the Siemens AOC 42 locomotives or Amtrak Long Distance Chargers 4200 horsepower, which will be the modified versions of the current SC 44 Chargers which are currently undergoing long-distance testing out west. The type of signal you see here is called an automatic block signal, or ABS type. Some of these are single head, like this one, which will only display 3 signal aspects regarding what is in the next block or what is in the next signal, or if the dispatcher has lined up a track in the opposing direction. The 3 types of aspects you'll see here are clear, approach, and stop and proceed. You can tell that this is an automatic block signal because of the black milepost for it on the signal posts. On the left, we see a clear aspect. In ABS rules, that means the next block is clear of all traffic. On the right, the signal is red, meaning that a train is in the current block, like the Amtrak 29 you see here. You can proceed past the red signal as long as the signal is an ABS and you have stopped your train completely. Once your train has stopped, you may proceed past the signal at restricted speed, while being prepared to stop behind the train in front of you. Once that train has passed the sensors, the signals will go dark. When a train enters the block before the signal, then the aspects will display in the direction of travel. These signals, for example, are facing for westbound trains, so if a train enters the block we're currently on, or to the signal east of us, the signals will illuminate once again.
Too bad. 5.
Somebody earlier reported a false activation of one of the crossings. This is the BB dispatcher in Jacksonville giving Amtrak PO29 EC1 number for the partial activation.
98010, 98010, 21620, BA 83.3, PO2916, engine Amtrak 134, Nasser, circle line 6B. False partial activation at Golf Course Road, BA 98.06, all tracks, flag or no, over.
EC1 number 98010, today's date 21620, location BA 83.3, CNE, train ID PO 2916, engine Amtrak 134, employee Nasser copying. Circle line 6B, false partial activation, account the automatic grade cross warning device malfunction at Golf Course Road crossing, outpost BA 98.6 on all tracks, flag or no.
1743, 1743, that's DFM, David Franklin, Michael, over.
1743 DFM, thank you.
Thank you, CSXBB out. CSXBB dispatch Jacksonville Q13815, locomotive 3125. Hold a Stewart till Amtrak gets in and out of the station. Call me when you're there for a EC1 false partial activation, Golf Course Road.
29 West 1, clear signal. Feature about you copy that back here, Doc.
As we were about to pack up our gear, I noticed an EMD engine in the distance echoing off the mountain. When I turned on my scanner again, the EOT alarm went off, indicating that freight train was nearby. We got set up and faced the Shenandoah subdivision when CSX B80116 emerges from the historical buildings on the corner, with 2 GP38s and a road slug pulling a local manifest from Winchester as it approaches the Harper's Ferry signal. It was another surprise for us as we sat and waited for B801 to get clearance to proceed eastbound towards Brunswick.
5 minutes. Shouldn't be too bad as long as we don't have any issues anywhere.
Once CSX B801 stops at the signal, they will call the dispatcher to get a positive signal for them to proceed eastbound. Let's watch how this works.
CSX BB dispatcher Jacksonville answering, over.
BB B801 coming up here to Harper's Ferry, over.
Alright, signal indication, over.
Signal indication, Harper's Ferry, thank you.
CSX BB out.
Notice how the dispatcher replied, "Proceed on signal indication." What that means is once the signal displays a positive aspect, meaning anything higher than a stop signal, they can proceed on what that signal indication is. The dispatcher first gave him a slow approach because he didn't line the next signal, but once he lined that next signal and the other signals after that, it upgraded to a slow clear, and now B801 can proceed on a clear. A slow clear, that is.
What notch do you think he's in? The echo. That's one of those kind of bells that are mounted on the side.
engineer on B801 notches up very slowly and cautiously to ensure that the train does not slack while on the bridge and on the tight curve at the same time, otherwise a derail will occur. Recently, a CSX empty grain train did the same thing in December as B801 here, where it stopped on the bridge and called the dispatcher for a signal. The engineer then notched up the train too quickly, and the grain cars on the curve slacked very hard, causing the cars on the curve and on the bridge to form a straight line derailment.
Alright, there's his end.
Because today was a nice day, and tomorrow was going to be an even better day with the higher temperatures, I was debating on whether I wanted to come back to Harper's Ferry or take the day off and relax. F it, why not? Let's do that again. On my way back to Harper's Ferry the next day, I decided to intercept an empty coal drag at Weaverton with 664 axles total, including the 4 mighty GVOs screaming westbound as it crouches over the Appalachian Trail here in Weaverton. I just put them on YouTube just for fun. Yeah. Oh, there's a coal drag. E74116 was the train, and Time to Make Up was the game. The empty Super Drag was supposed to depart yesterday at midnight, but got pushed to midday from Baltimore as it finally heads west to Newell, Pennsylvania. I beat Amtrak to Harper's Ferry and got a free parking space, because parking is free at Harper's Ferry after 5 o'clock p.m., and got a better view today than yesterday due to the clouds closing in yesterday, but at 60 degrees and not a single cloud in sight as Amtrak 29 crossed the Harper's Ferry Bridge yet again. If you remember what I was talking about earlier about automatic block signals, here's an example of what the signal does when a train is lined in the opposite direction. The signal on the left is displaying a red aspect. The dispatcher has lined an eastbound coming from the opposite direction of the signal, causing this signal to display a negative aspect. As I head back to the station to prepare for the eastbound, Just Train Insanity arrived with his friend to do some evening spotting with me here at Harper's Ferry. As I set up for the eastbound, a westbound coal train appears out of nowhere, posing as E78116, who was also running late. As soon as the head end passed me, CSXQ 13815 came around the corner too, with the brand new AC44C6M locomotive as the mid DPU. It's nice to catch a beat like this once in a while. It doesn't happen too often either. As nighttime began to fall on this lovely President's Day evening, it was dead for a couple of hours until CSX Q13815 also made an appearance as it heads eastbound towards Portsmouth, Virginia with a double-stack intermodal. I must say, those marker lights on the trailing ES44 DPU were pretty bright this evening. Me forgetting that it was President's Day, I was wondering why a MARC train was operating on a holiday. On major holidays like today, MARC runs on a restricted schedule so that passengers who work on this holiday can have transportation in and out of Washington, D.C. Only 3 trains run west on this schedule: P875, which terminates in Brunswick, as well as P893 that terminates in Frederick, and now the train approaching marked P881.
As soon as the flashlight, you were like this. That's really funny. Dude, that's really good. Funny thing was, Cameron,
I noticed that the automatic block signal in the left was red again, meaning that the dispatcher is lined up and eastbound on track 2. Turns out it was CSX Q21614 with the double ET44AH Tier 4 at the point. Well, that wraps up this episode. I want to give a shout out to Philip Lee, Chris F. Railfen, and Just Train Sanity for the unexpected meetups here at Harper's Ferry. As 8:30 p.m. rolls around the corner, I decided it was probably time to go. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Trains Productions. We's out of here.